Hello, 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 and welcome. Hello, 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 and welcome. Hello, and welcome. How are you folks doing? Welcome today in the first episode of Personal Finance Series live streams where we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about money and all the things that we were not taught in school in this live stream, a lot of basics. Let me know how is the weekend going. Gixi Asaram says late OP. Yes, let's have late OP in chat. And let's have those likes. Let's have those likes. Let's see those likes as well. And Balaji Rao is also here. I'm just looking for a research paper on in all right, I'm just looking for that for you. Yes, I found that paper for you. All right, now that I've found that paper, I can link that in when we start talking about it. All right, there should be a PDF version of this. I'll try to find PDF version for you. Anyway, never mind. Late OP. Yes, Manish Reddy, late OP. It is late indeed. We are. We are late. We are late. I'm just adding some links for you in the description so you can find that because they're going to be relevant. I've had a headache today, so got a little late. You said me Geeksy SRM. Uh, did I say Asaram? SRM, sorry. Geeky SRM. Hello, Jay. Hello, Shivam Singh. Hello, welcome. So, what do you know about money so far? Let's start there. Let's start with the question with you. How do you define money? What is this money business? What is money? What is money? Paisa kya hai? Rahul, batao. You look sleepy. I'm very sleepy. I actually fell asleep and then alarm rang, and that is why I'm late. And then I woke up again. Today, I don't know, for some reason, I'm feeling very sleepy. You don't have to retract that, Balaji Rao. That is completely fine. I am extremely sleepy today. All right, let's hit that like button and get started. And let me know what you folks think about money. What is money? What is money? Vedant, people keep asking how do you hide the symbol of Zoom? This is happening on OBS. So for this, I don't know where Zoom will come into picture. Yesterday, when we were doing live stream with Abhinav Chikara, I again use OBS to screen capture. And if you want, you can check out the streams. There's a stream on my channel on to show OBS setup. There is a vlog where I talk about my stream setup, where I screen capture that part of Zoom where I could see Abhinav's face. And yep, that is how it works. Are you investing money? Yes. But I'm not gonna once. Okay, before we start, that's a good reminder. Statutory notice that I'm not a personal finance advisor. I'm not a money advisor. None of this is advice. This is what I've learned. So this is the intention of the stream, to share with you what I've learned, and so you can do your own research. That is, in fact, the new theme that we were talking about, me and Abhinav last night. Do your own research. Udit Shakya is here. Hello, Udit. Hello, Zainab. Hello, Karthik. Good to see you, folks. Good to see you, all of you. Dhaval is also here. चलो पैसे की बातें करें. Correct. So, all right, let's start. Hello. All right, start. So, पहला question है. First question is, what is money? In essence, what is money? Many. Jay, welcome to Citizen. So, thank you so much for taking membership. For those of you who don't know, membership starts at 59 rupees only. That's less than what you will spend on coffee on CCD. Not that you're stepping out right now. I hope not. But if you do, you can step out. I mean, up to you. The thing is, we're gonna talk. If you take membership, it's a great support for the channel. And I that keeps me going because I know there are people, otherwise, yeah, like I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll make a video, I'll go live, but I'm like, there are people legit like waiting who are paying money for this stuff. All right, purchasing power, value exchange, we already have great answer. Purchasing power, value exchange. All right, what else do people know about money? What else do you know about money, folks? Oh, I haven't switched to iPad. My bad, folks. My bad. This is what I'm writing. This is where we are taking notes as usual. So there you can see notes. Notes. Medium of trading. All right. Medium. Oh, medium काफी है. Medium of trading. All right. So all of these things are true. It's a medium. It's a medium of value exchange, right? And it has purchasing power. So it's essentially, a barter system. We were told in history classes that it used to be a barter system. And there are many stories, in fact, where, if you remember, a person needs some medicine for their whatever dying relative, and then they have to go to this witch who tells them to go to this dragon who tells them to go to this like underworld, and then they get this person their stuff, they get this person their stuff, and then finally they get what they want. That's how barter system worked, right? So obviously, like many items among barter which were like non-perishable and not easy to consume, etc., started becoming standards, where we could see grains as standards or golden coins as standards, etc., right? And currencies emerge. Now, what happens in a currency? Currency usually now, at least, doesn't have any inherent value. Let's call it intrinsic value, right? And intrinsic value, let's define it as, can you objectively use that for sustenance, right? So gold coins don't have any intrinsic value if you think about it, right? Neither do metal coins. You could argue that yeah, you could smelt and make something out of it, but that effort is gonna be far more than what that maybe. Money brings freedom. Yes, that's one of the qualities of money. I became a member. Yes, Jay. That is why I was saying thank you so much for becoming a member. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it, Jay. All right, a standard of exchange. Correct, a standard exchange. So the same way, but if you let's say, why is bread not a good bread has intrinsic value, but why is bread not a good currency? Because it's perishable, and it's easy to consume. It is not standardizable. Like, how will you say, is this big a loaf of bread? Is it by weight? Is it by volume? How do you measure that? Somebody will bake it with worse ingredients, somebody will bake it with better ingredients, so there's no standardization there. That is why purity of metals helped, and that is why metals became the first currency. And you don't have to take my word for it. This phenomena of emergence of this, from this barterish system to this currency based system. So finally we have a fiat currency based system. Is it fiat currency? I think it's fiat currency. So it's gold backed currency. Let's call it gold. Actually, we have come to metal as currency, right? Let's call it metal currency. So metal currencies is the phase that we're talking about in history, and from here we generally tend towards like a abstract of fiat currency, right, where you may have backing gold, right, like gold reserves backing it. Nowadays this doesn't happen, by the way. It's dependent on a lot of other factors, but on your GDP, on how much you have reserves, etc., etc., other things, but not on gold reserves. Now, what happens here is you take something which is just symbolic, right? And it doesn't have intrinsic value of its own. Like, if you were to go to another country or go to another planet, it wouldn't have as much value to you, versus bread has intrinsic value. Land has intrinsic value, right? Because land can continue to produce at the end of the hundreds of years. You still have land with you, so that is different kind of value holder. So we're going to talk about like what it does again, like what our currency does. It's non-perishable, right? Second, it's standardizable. Standardizable is a very important. Now we take it for granted because now it's numbered in databases. That's how most of the currency is stored across the world nowadays, as in somewhere in somebody's database. But earlier it was accounts and like physical manifestation of all of that stuff. Now, is there a delay, because it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a healthy stream? Let me know if there are any issues with the stream, folks. It is also standardizable. We also talked about. Then we talk about um, the what do you call that? Hard to fake. Yes, I'm not getting the word for this. There's a specific word for hard to fake, but more like anybody after a point could practically make, like, if you were willing enough to make a coin, but it's not easy. That's why they have those design elements in the notes, etc., right, where they make it harder to fake. Now, this journey that you take from barter era, barter currencies, to metal currencies, to a fiat currency, is a natural thing. It naturally happens. And how do we know that? How do we know that? This is where I would like you to read this research paper, the link to which I have included in the description, or you can search for this, the Economic Organization of a POW camp. POW is Prisoners of War camp. Now, in this, what happens is an economist goes to a camp after World War, where people from multiple nationalities are kept as prisoners of war after the World War, after one of the World War. Just lag in the chat. That's it. Yeah, that there is a lag there. I have to fix. I have to find a fix for that. I'm working on that soon. So now what this paper talks about is that what started to happen was cigarette razor blades, all of these became currencies, and cigarettes eventually became the primary currency in prisoners of war camp. And prices were published, like people started the economy there. Somebody had something that they needed, somebody created something that they needed, right? Somebody, let's say, had extra razor blades and they needed it for shaving or hurting somewhere or whatever. If anybody has watched Orange is the New Black, so what they started doing was they started exchanging using cigarettes. So prices were published in, like, bread is 12 cigarettes, this is 20 cigarettes, that is 15 cigarettes. And this suddenly puts, later on he goes on to describe in the paper that this suddenly puts people who are smokers in a disadvantageous group because they smoke their currency. A very weird phenomena emerges, right? As you can see, cigarettes are again and again mentioned as the exchange medium of exchange, and that a fancy price in biscuits or cigarettes, you could. Yeah, so and there were different cultural phenomena, and how monopolies tried to emerge, and how different people became hostile or like friendly based on commerce, and whatever we see at a macro level in today's world, in at economic stage, this paper talks about so many of those phenomena are naturally happen in a smaller in a micro fashion as well. And this is a beautiful paper that you must study. The link, it was published in 1945 and by R.A. Radford. So do check that out. It will tell you about the basics of money. It's damn fascinating how he describes economy, and this also talks about how we naturally transition from this currency setup, right? So we're talking about money now. You're like, yeah, I didn't come here to learn history of money. Why is this important? This will be important because we eventually gonna cover crypto as well. So this we'll come back to these basics when we come to crypto and other stuff as well. Before any of you ask, no, this is not an advice to invest or buy crypto. Um, I am again not a financial expert, but if you wanna know, do I have any purchases in crypto? No, I do not at this point. So coming to now, will I regret that? Possibly. Now coming to the next topic we have. Any questions so far, folks? Any questions that what money is and how we view it? So today governments back money, right? Governments back money. They promise. That is why if you take out a note, and which I want to do right now, if I'm able to find it, I'm not able to find it. Take out a note and read what's written on there. It says, I promise to pay this bearer of this note the sum of 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 20, whatever it is. It is a promise of payment. It is not the rupee itself, which could be said to be the coin or whatever, right? And it in a sense, it's a government written global check, right? And this started with banking, right? Banking emerged like about 500 years ago in Europe, where people started issuing, rich people, you could keep money with rich people and get a note issued from them, a promise that yes, this person has so money with me, and whoever comes claiming with this, I'll give them that money. So instead of carrying so much gold yourself, back in the day, what you could do is just go to a person, get a note, a promise note, like get a deposit with these people, so you don't have to carry those gold coins for trade, which will be very risky because it will be stolen, lost, etc. And you get a note and you exchange the note with the person, and that other person can go back to this person and get their cash if they wanted to do so. So that is how banking initially emerged. Why didn't I get the notification? No clue, Haley, no clue. Maybe too many notifications last night. Maybe yesterday as a notification was counted like as something. Press the bell icon. Yes, press the bell icon, subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. We don't have enough likes, folks. If you're enjoying this live stream, if you're learning something new, make sure you hit that like so our family can grow. Let's keep a goal. Let's keep a goal of how many likes? Let's keep a goal that we need to have 50 likes on the stream. We're 25 people. We can reach 25 right away. That if we reach that number, more people will join in because YouTube will send more notification, and that is how we can do that. Sumit, I'm new to UX design. I'm learning XD on Udemy right now. That's awesome, Sumit. Or you can also try out Figma. Either one works actually. I don't have much experience in XD. I've used it a little bit. Now, so that is how notes emerge, right? and that is in some fashion, that is how you can say checks emerge as well. That is not exactly true, but we'll keep it to that. That eventually we come to, internet happens, and then we talk about digital bank transfers, right? In India, they were transfers. In India, they started pretty late in terms of NEFT, and IMPS came even late. But then, with the dawn of UPI lately, like the payment infrastructure in India is years and years ahead of anything in the West. All right. So that is how that this evolution from notes all the way to UPI today happens. And we'll talk about credit cards, etc. in the series. That's a little advanced topic. The next topic that we are looking at is types of these resources, right? Types of these. For example, have you heard of the word asset versus liability? Assets versus liability. First thing that you simply have heard of, let's think about how money works, right, in our life. So we can learn about saving and other stuff and how to look at money. We know that we have income, and then it goes to expenses, right? Most of it goes to expenses, most of it, let's say, and some part of it, let's say, you save. That is the basic model most people understand, right? That first, actually, let's not write it this way. Let's put it this way. That first, the money in people's life flows from income to expenses. Whatever is left then goes to savings, right? And savings are typically what we will term as assets. Let's put it assets that have either intrinsic value, right? Like we discuss intrinsic value, that they're valuable to you, or assets are something that produce more income, right? So let's define assets at intrinsic value or income producing. And let's hope this intrinsic value doesn't decrease. Then it's not a great asset, right? Um, Income producing. So, but what we don't realize is that a lot of income goes in liabilities as well. Liabilities are things like your rent, right? Let's say your car maintenance, your EMIs, your insurance bills, your bills, right? And then other things are expenses. Liabilities are things that you owe, and will continue to owe something towards that. It's a liability on you. So existence is a liability, right? In that sense. But now, knowing this model, help me classify some of these items, right? And let's take an example of income. Salary, sale. Let's say you do sale of t-shirts, or you do freelancing. Expenses, things like you bought an iPhone, you bought groceries, etc. are expenses, right? Now help me classify these things. What is a car? Is it an asset, liability, income, or expense? What is a house that you own and live in, right? And what is a house you own and rent out? So let's classify them. Number one, what is it? Number two, what is it? Number three, what is it? So write in chat one asset, one liability, one thing, and things like that. So we can let's quickly have those answers. Meanwhile, I'm gonna so you can write those answers for those three things. Meanwhile, I'm gonna take a look at the chat. What is the chat saying? What is chat telling us about? I have to share another link with you. You have to look for that as well. Assets generate money, liabilities require money. Correct, Balaji Rao. I wonder where these guys have learned making case studies from. Is there any specific course? No, Sumit. We observe each other's case studies, and that's how most of us have learned. Practice makes perfect. Perfect, no course. Correct. I've always had this doubt: is rent a liability? Rent is technically an expense, but given that you have rented that, you're on an agreement for a rent, it can be counted as a liability. All right, subjective depends on the way you utilize things. Sure, but like let's assume a usual household, right? All right, liability asset, not sure. Liability asset, one liability asset. two asset, asset. So most people are saying the third is one is an asset because it produces income, right? Asset, correct. So this one is correct. Car, most people have figured out correctly, is a liability for that reason. Unless, like somebody mentioned, like Manav mentioned, unless you are a business person whose business comes with a lot of usage of cars, it's a liability for you. It's not producing income for you, right? In fact, it's producing expenses and maintenance, petrol, and everything else. It's and plus it's a depreciating asset. It's called an asset because you bought it. In accounting terms, it can be called an asset, but in my understanding and worldview, the way we are gonna follow a little bit can be very personal finance accounting is slightly different from standard accounting. That is why anything that depreciates in value, let's put it as liability, and especially because you have to continue to spend money on it. It's depreciating in value plus you spend money on it, right? So that is why it becomes a liability. And you own the house, so it is an asset, but it's not an income producing asset, but it has an intrinsic value to you. Existence is a liability. Yeah, I mean, you have to spend so much money, right? Your value is depreciating, technically speaking. And then you have to spend so much money to maintain yourself. Yeah. So that is why existence is a liability. Expense, liability, asset. All right. So I would term this as an asset. It's just a non income producing asset, right? Remember, we spoke about assets either, let's put an or here, either have intrinsic value or are income producing, or both. Both is also fine. For example, land is both. It has an intrinsic value plus it can produce income. Bro, did you learn all this purple background, your Insta ID on screen, and streaming in general? I want to learn how you change screen to your iPad. Shivam Singh, go to my channel and I will just quickly show you. Lately I've been getting a lot of people asking about streaming stuff, which is not bad, but I'll quickly show you, what's happening. Oh, Siddharth Warrior is online and doing a Q&A. Probably we can, remind me if we can raid him before leaving. If there are not too many people there, we have ample people where you can probably raid. We right now don't have an ample people. So, you can go to my channel, search for streaming. This is my streaming layout vlog where I talk about the basic setup. And this is the tutorial for how I set up the entire OBS thing, right? So I use OBS and that is how you do that. I hope that helps, Shivam. Coming back to money business, folks. And the thing I was looking for is called, I have to look for that book that I have to recommend to you folks today. There's gonna be homework. There is gonna be homework. There is gonna be homework. All right, I've copied the link. Coming back, all right. So now we have understood a little bit more about asset liabilities. Now this is how most people think about, and this is the four quadrant idea stolen from a book which I was gonna recommend to you folks, which is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm gonna spam the link in the chat. This is again an affiliate link, which means if you buy it from this link, I get 2 rupees. And which is nice. I don't want to say no to, like, I'm gonna add it to the description as well. Other books by him, I'm not a big fan of. Rich Dad Poor Dad, damn night, it's a classic. So now coming to Rich Dad Poor Dad, what it says is most people have income, expense, assets, and liabilities. Now let's change colors so we can depict this slightly better. Nope, this is not what I want, Apple. All right. Now, what do most people do? Let's put that in red. Okay. Most people, like we said, there'll be income. Why is it not working now? There'll be income, which will go to expense and will also directly go to liabilities. Whatever is left will go to assets, right? And this is how money flows. Correct? How his argument, Robert Kiyoski's argument in this book is that how money should flow with income. First, you should purchase assets, and first, you should take care of all the liabilities. Now, whatever is left from here should go to expenses. That is a completely different flow of money. If you think about it, that's a very different flow of money, right? He's talking about, again, all income should first go to assets and to fulfill all liabilities. and then whatever is left for expenses. It's not the other way round, which means most people who are gonna be rich or are rich are flowing money this way. It happens so much so that their assets continue to grow, so that this is the final thing that happened, that assets produce income. Most of them go to rebuilding assets. Some of that income goes to liabilities, and whatever is left goes to, this motion, this thing starts to happen. This is the real rich part, where you have so many assets. You've written books, you have courses running. There's a model, I think, with Abhinav. We can Abhinav sent me a link. I have to find it. If I find it, I'll post it on Discord and Telegram. But link to Discord and Telegram in the description below, and hit that like button if you learned something new. So that is how it's working, that you can create so many assets. Let's say you have enough FD. Let's take FD is not a great instrument. We talk about why later on, not in this stream, maybe in this stream and maybe not. We'll see if we have time. But that is, let's say you have enough assets, such assets that went there, that now they keep producing a little bit of income, which together becomes huge income for you. And that is how you live your life. So that is the goal, to shift from the red flow of money to blue flow of money, till green flow of money starts kicking in. So Udit Shakir is summarizing that for us: spend whatever is left after investing. Correct. So now with that view, we're gonna proceed forward and talk about another first principle. And in this stream, we are just covering first principle. These are basic concepts, right, that were taught to us very poorly or not at all. Like this thing, when I studied, it blew my mind away. I was like, why is this not taught in schools? How dare you? How dare the school people not teach this in the school? It's crazy. I guess, which is typical, 10 to 15% of your total income that should be kept for spending. Yes, but for majority of people that is a dream, right? Because in India is not that, like, honestly speaking, India doesn't have that kind of income for most people. It's a privilege if you do have that, and even if you do, then it's very difficult to keep spending limited to 10-15% for most people. Even then, it's just how it happens to be, right? Vertical and horizontal progress. I guess I don't know what you mean by that, Sumit J. So now we come to the last concept. We actually two related concepts that we're going to discuss, which are related to money, and I have earlier covered them on my YouTube channel as well. And for details, I would love you to check those videos out. I'm going to show you which ones are those. But before I go there, just a quick warning that there is a slight mistake which I will correct in today's this thing. Today's live stream, there's a slight mistake there in the way I'm explaining concept. It's not correct, which which we can fix. It's not that big a mistake. The overall concept still stays. All right. So this is, oh no, this is not the one. Screen share. All right, there we go. So go to my channel, right? You go to the channel, you click this search icon, not the main search, this search icon, and search for personal finance, right? And of course, first thing you're gonna see this. No one told us about money, compounding, and inflation. You can watch this 13-minute video, which gets deeper, and it also talks about why FDs are terrible instruments of investment, right? But we're gonna cover those basics again in this stream because, hey, live streaming is fun and I love hanging out with you folks. So hit that like button and let's get started, and let's talk about these two powerful concepts in personal finance. First one is compounding. How many of you understand compounding? How many of you understand what compounding is? Heard of compound interest? Very much related. Hint for you. That's like massive hint. That's a massive hint. Where is chat? Where is chat? Did I close chat? Why is chat not working? Oh, there is chat. Right there. All right. Income and expense are two types: capital expenditure and capital income. Revenue expense and revenue income, correct. But now you're talking about Manav, you're talking about accounting terminology. For personal finance, it wouldn't matter as much at this stage. We'll talk about capital income, capital gains, and all those items later on, probably when we do the advanced version of this series. And same for income. Benefits of expense, which is derived more than year, is capital expense. LOL, I am CA student, can't keep quiet without giving my 2 cents. Manav, would love to. Then what we should do is probably you should join at the next episode of the stream and tell us a little bit more about those concepts. And really appreciate the comments. Keep them coming in. Really appreciate them. So don't stay quiet. Share your comments and correct me if I'm wrong somewhere. But yes, Manav is correct. Now, capital expenditure, capital income, revenue expense, and revenue incomes are two different things. Largely relevant to companies, but also applicable to individuals as well in many cases. But hey, we'll come to that. We'll come there as well. Hello, Space Boy Gaming. How is it going? Balaji Rao says it uses snowball effect. All right. Compound interest is eighth wonder of the world. Why is it eighth wonder of the world, Abhishek? Compounding is the eighth wonder. Everyone just knows that. Hey, what is this? What is this? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Huh? You all know the definition. You all know the quotations around it. But what does it mean to compound? Huh? I was talking about this flow of money and investment through SIPs compounding with someone is best commerce college of the country. She said, "This is BS. FDs are best." Her college taught her that. Wow, some college that is. All right, Einstein, correct. All right. Haley says there is a hand. I don't know why. ATP is the currency, the energy currency of the body. Triphosphate. I forgot what was the first word A stands for. Hockey stick growth, interest on interest. All right. So now what happens is compounding. Now what that means is 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 snowball effect. You're right. Most of you are right. Like it's an exponential. These are the way we see compounding, like an exponential curve happens, right, over time. Why it happens is because accumulation happens, right? This is at the core of accounting. Now, what that means is in simple interest, if you let's say earn 10% interest rate per annum, right? Per annum is per year, and this was simple interest, then first year you will have 100, then 110, 120, 130, 140, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But if you have compounding interest on, then 100, 110, and then you will have what? I'll have to do this live because I'm a noob. 10% plus 1 raised to the power 2. I'm doing this. This is much easier to do it this way, so I can fill the entire table completely, right? So this will be 133.1. Then I can raise it to 3 years. That will be 146 point something, and then I can raise it to 4 years. That'll be 161 something like that, right? Wait, no, I'm my bad. Wrong calculation, wrong numbers. Noob. I am a noob and I have not switched the screen. Sorry, my bad. Okay, cool. So you have not seen my bad maths. Great. What a noob. Okay. I was like 120. It's 121. I'm pretty sure. 133, 146, and finally 161. Now it looks correct, right? So if you look at the nature of like compounding versus like this is simple interest goes like this. Compounding interest, अरे यार क्या हो गया? Compounding interest, अरे नीचे नहीं जाता है, साथ में जाता है ऐसे. This is how it grows, right? Over time, it outpowers anything. Now, this compounding can be negative as well, right? If somebody is charging you 6% every year of some amount, then money grows like this or degrows, right? Let's say I charge whatever, I'm managing your asset, you give me, okay, hey Siddharth, you're smart. Thank you. And you, why don't you invest my money? And I go like, sure, I'll invest your money, but I'll charge you 10%. That's too much. But for easy calculation, I'll charge you 10% every year of whatever amount you keep with me, whatever amount I manage for you, I'll charge. And let's say you keep 100 rupees with me first year. The next year, I let's say earn no income, right? I earn no income. Why is this happening? 1 minus 10. Then you will have 90 rupees, 90 in the next year. Then you'll have 81. Then you will have 72, and then you will have 65. Versus if I charge you simple thing, then it should be like wait, there's something wrong with this. Something is wrong. Anyway, we'll come to that the charge part later. I think I've overdone myself here, but it works that way in inflation. Now the second, that is how compounding interest works. That is how most things, the bank accounts and FDs work based on compounding. Now you're like, Siddharth, then technically speaking, an FD will make me super rich. On a long enough timeline, everybody should be super rich, right? Then you start an FD, your like your seventh generation will be billionaires and millionaires, right? Kinda, kinda. Now we come to the second concept in this entire deal, which is inflation. Who has heard about inflation? Who has heard about inflation? Quickly tell me, what does inflation mean? And meanwhile, we're gonna take a look at chat. I present showing 1112 adenosine triphosphate. There you go. At least triphosphate part was right, right? I'm not bad. Like a decade after studying in school, not bad. Screen switch, screen switch, switch, screen switch, screen switch, boom, 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 boomer. Hamara pyara boomer. All right. Calculator OP, like how the speed of body falling to the earth will increase to a limit, till it reaches terminal velocity. Similar to the money made through the compound interest, to increases without limits. All right, bro, you're gonna go privatize stream. Please, are you gonna privatize this stream? Unless I do some blunder on this stream, like I leaked my address last time, I'm not gonna privatize it. This is gonna be stay open. Money losing its value is inflation. All right, more answers. I did poorly in seed exam this time. What should I do next? Figure out where did you do poorly if you're able to, and try to improve those things and practice more projects. Try to learn design anyway. I binge watched Tanmay and Anku Wariko's finance stream. Those are amazing. Those are amazing. Decrease in value of your assets. All right. So we're gonna cover it now. What is inflation? Is, remember, in the starting of the stream, you folks use this word and it comes from you. Is purchasing power. Money has purchasing power. All right. Now what happens is, let's say I have in the market, I have some money floating around and I have some goods floating around. Do not mind the bad Apple logo. It is not that Apple. This is some other Apple. Now, if I there's some amount of things, some amount of items, things, and there's some amount of money in the market, right, which is chasing these goods. They want to buy them. Now, what if I increase the supply of money? What is going to happen? And don't increase the supply of things. What will happen? Supply, demand. Anybody studied? What will happen? Now I will say, oh, all of you are offering the same, but I don't have enough. But more of you want it. Demand is higher than supply. That means I can charge more money for lesser things because things are less in supply. So what that does is it reduces the purchasing power of the currency. And it happens at the currency level. Because a government will print a certain currency, that is why it is tied to a currency at this point. Prices will increase, correct. People are willing to spend more for one apple, correct. So this is what we call, in technical terms, because of the demand-supply equation, the purchasing power of a rupee, the currency, is diminishing, and that in common language we interpret as increasing prices and increasing expenses for living. महंगाई बढ़ रही है, जो सुना है हमारे ज़माने में. माई मदर टेल्स मी 100 रुपए में शादियाँ करा देते थे लोगों की. 10 रुपए बहुत होते थे. 10 रुपए साल के लिए बहुत होते थे. लाइक दे यूज्ड टू से सो मेनी थिंग्स. एक चवन्नी में ये आ जाता था, चवन्नी में वो आ जाता था. एंड नाउ लाइक you can't buy anything in $100, right? Actually, you can. In less than $100, in 59 rupees, you can join the channel and become a member and support the channel. And if you don't want to do that yet, at least hit that like button and support the stream so more people can know about that we do this and can join us and we can grow. We have a goal to hit 5,000 subs before June end. So help us out on that goal and hit subscribe if you haven't, hit like if you are already subscribed. And if you can, do try to support the channel and become a member. Now, coming back to currency and purchasing power, right? So this is what inflation is. And this can happen in reverse as well, right? Less money is supplied or more things are produced, right? then prices go down, and it is termed as deflation, right? As you will see in this, if you any of you watched Tanmay Bhatt's stream on his alternate channel, I think Honestly by Tanmay Bhatt, there he has personal finance streams, and I think Strong Sit is called, and those are awesome. And he's doing some series on personal finance as well, so you should check that out as well. But what we're gonna look at, inflation components, India recently. So you can check out this chart. What this measures of core inflation. Core inflation includes pricing of like certain items. I'm looking for the latest chart. Will RBI would have published the latest chart? At least some chart we can see. So there you go, right? So there's a non-food manufacturing inflation and headline inflation, which includes food manufacturing, and you can see what are the underlying components, and you can see fuel and power. When the prices drop, they can cause the inflation to itself to drop down, right? And this is the various components. WPI is wholesale price index, and CPI is consumer price index. The consumer price index tracks the inflation on consumer side. Wholesale price index tracks the inflation on the wholesale and B2B side, right? And typically, like, you will see effects of WPI passed on to CPI in 1 or 2 cycles. So you can see various factors that contribute. This is not the best chart. When you see these charts now, you know what they mean, that which component is contributing where. Oh, I have not switched. Genius. एक साल की स्ट्रीमिंग बर्बाद है यार, ये सारे experiences. So this is headline inflation, non-food manufacturing inflation. Here you can see the prices of fuel and power dropped and brought the entire headline inflation downwards. And as you can see, there is CPI inflation, comes consumer price index, WPI wholesale price index. And usually when wholesale price index fluctuates, those fluctuations are later on seen in consumer price index as well, as companies pass on cost or benefits to the consumers. With this, we covered. Now when you look at these charts in the newspaper and other places, and especially Live Mint, etc., you will not feel super confused, and that is my hope, because it is critically important that we understand what is happening around us and be able to ask the right question for ourselves. All right, rate of decrease in currency value, correct? So we've covered that. Are you accepting design mentees, Sid? Not at the moment, Abhishek. I don't know even how we'll set that up. Usually, the best format I can offer there is design internships at Headout. So if you're a design intern there, you get me as a mentor as well by default. Right now, we are looking for visual design interns to work with growth and marketing teams. So if you're interested in applying as a visual designer, email at rohan@headout.com, or DM me on Instagram with your portfolio, or on Telegram or on Discord. Discord I may not check, so Telegram or Instagram, just DM me, but preferably rohan@headout.com, because it's much faster that way. He's the one who's doing the first round of interviews, so you will directly reach him instead of me forwarding him and then that happening in that round. All right, we're coming back now. Now coming to, are you in Figma Creators Community? No, I'm not at the moment. Coming to currency, we have now talked about inflation, and that is what happens. Now what happens is, let's look at compounding. Usually is given to you in percentage value, right? Let's say 8% compounding interest you will get per annum, right? That is how interest is written. And inflation is also written in percentages value, and an 8% inflation means the purchasing power of rupee went down by 8% this year. This is also annually calculated at financial years. Now what happens, actually is calculated, you can calculate at any point in time, but standardized is yearly. Right now, what happens is, let's say you take 100 rupees, right? And you put it in FD, where you get 8% interest. So you're like, Siddharth, I'm going to be rich. You know why? Because my compounding formula is there. My compounding formula says 100 into 1 plus 8% raised to the power of number of years I stay in there. So first year, I'm going to have 108 rupees. I'm not like, and then in the second year, I'm going to add 116, blah, 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 blah. And let's, for simplicity's sake, assume all through these years you're lucky and inflation says exactly 8%. Exactly the same amount that you're earning, right? So the value of 108 will also decrease by 8%, right? And of both the 100 rupee and the 8 rupee. And this usually leads you to back to 100. This will be back to 100, 100, 100. While the absolute number is going up, the actual purchasing power what you can buy remains the same. All right, you will go out in the market after hundreds of years and you will still be only able to buy what you could have bought hundreds of years ago for what, 100 rupees. You'll still be able to buy the same amount of thing for this money, because all the prices kept up at the same pace, so the value of money did not grow. Now this is a rosy picture, this is rosy, all right, not your neighbor. This is just a picture, just a thing to say. All right. The truth is, inflation stays nearly for us between 6 to 8%. 8% historically speaking. If you take average of past 50 years, it'll be 7.8 something. And interest are usually given by banks whose currency is also facing inflation. So they will always give you interest less than 8%. FDs these days, you see from saving bank account 3% to 6% or 7.5% max, 7% maximum I've seen in FDs, right? Which means you're always at least a percentage, a whole percentage lower than that, which means every year you lose at least 1% value of the money if you put in any of these instrument, which is from saving banks accounts to FD. And that is why these are terrible instruments for money, because you deposit it, somebody uses it, and you lose money over time. All right. 4 plus minus 2 is the general inflation rate. Now that is the target of RBI. That is the mandate of RBI to keep it under 4 plus minus 2. But 6 to 8 is the range that we see it in typically. Sab changa si Rohit Madhwani, good to see you here. Bro, which app are you using for your calendar expressions? Only Apple users don't. Does it require Apple Pencil? Do you know any alternative app? Rohit Singh, there are other tablets as well. Yeah, matlab you can use some other tablet, Android tablet or those Wacom tablets to draw. I use iPad because Apple Notes on iPad with Apple Pencil and iPad Pro, which is captured by QuickTime and picked up by OBS and streamed right to your screens. Hit that like button. Hit that like button if you learned something new. All right. So with that, we have covered all the topics we wanted to cover today. That is why FDs are terrible items in instruments of savings, and that is why there are other assets you should look at. In the next stream, what topics we should cover. I have some ideas, but I want to know from what would you like to know about money, so we can cover those, so I can prepare for that stream. Any questions you have, any comments, questions, threats, appreciation, etc., let me know right now in the comments right now, and hit that like button if you learned something new today. And if you're new here around here, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you are subscribed. We have a goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers, and YouTube Analytics tells me I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this as a creator like everybody else. YouTube Analytics tells me more than 50% of you are not subscribed. That means that subscribe button is red. I know it. I see it. I see you. Subscribe. Hit that. It should be gray. The like button should be blue, and the subscribe button should be gray. That's the perfect way to be here. Where are you from? Yash, I am from a lot of places. Error happened while recording. I don't know why my recording stopped. I think I'm out of space. I'm out of space? Holy shit, 1 TB filled up. That'd be terrible. Yash, a lot of places, yeah. I was born in North and I moved to South. So yeah, I'm from all over the place. Streams on basics on tax and investments. Yes. We have to build up to it. But basics of taxes, again, check out the personal finance series that I've covered. And in the next stream, probably we should talk about details of taxes. People, tell me in the chat right now. Now is the time for you to decide the next stream's content. Tell me what topics would you like me to cover. Trisha has right now mentioned basics of tax and investments. That's a great topic to cover next time. But I want to know from you, what is it that you want me to cover? What is it? Pan India. Yeah, correct. Pan India. हमारा pan पूरे इंडिया वैलिड. I'm sorry for the terrible joke. I'm really sorry. All right. No request. How strange is that? All right. Cool. So let me know in Instagram DM or on Discord or on Telegram. Dashboard. Personal finance की बात हो रही है जी. Personal finance की. Stock market. That's an interesting idea. Goku Gaming. Investing as a student. Save कर लो यार. Students के लिए मतलब save ही कर लो और क्या करोगे अभी? Investments would be a good topic. All right. What kind of topic do you want to choose? Personal finance topics. Stock market basics. Cool. So I think a lot of people are interested in stock markets and how the basic things function there. So we are going to talk about stock market. All right. We're going to talk about stock. Crypto will take a while to get there. Even I'm studying crypto. So that'll, I mean, I can talk about basics, or I can get a guest, a crypto obsessed co-founder of Head Out. I'm gonna get him to give you all a presentation. In fact, he has done that presentation in Hackout streams, but we're gonna do a special edition with him and get him to talk about cryptocurrencies. That's gonna be fun. All right, with that, we come to an end of this live stream. Thank you so much for joining in on this weekend. After this, I may play chess. I feel like playing chess, but I don't know if I have the enough energy to play chess. You will know in 15 minutes of closing of this live stream if I'm coming online and playing chess with you all. I hope to see you, all of you there. And on the next one, we probably most likely going to discuss stock market and move toward that area and study the basics at least. And with that, we come to and the end of live stream. Thank you so much for joining in. And if you haven't hit that like button, why haven't you hit that like button? Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Are you following Instagram? Are you following Instagram? Because you should follow me on Instagram, because I do funny things on Instagram. Okay, how many of you seen that? How many have seen Akash and that design interns OP in chat? All of you know which thing I'm talking about, which episode of funny things I'm talking about. If you liked it, let's hear it. DIOP, design intern OP, DIOP in chat. And with that, I'm gonna do an end. So DIOP, let's hear it. DIOP. When is Minecraft stream? Minecraft stream is gonna happen on Thursday, because Wednesday night we have one live stream with Abhinav. I think after that, if we get time, because my gaming mouse is finally getting delivered on Wednesday, Jay. So I'm really looking forward to do Minecraft stream. I'm waiting for it. I'm dying for it and asking for it. Get off my pack. OKR's OP. All right, OKR. Pablito Siddharth. Yes. This is much better OP. OKR's OP is much better OP. And Pablito Siddharth, I love that one, Rohit. All right, DIOP. If you folks want to know what is DIOP, you got to check out my Instagram and check out these two interns gossiping with each other about OKRs. With that, we come to an end. Thank you so much. Good night. Shabak Khair. Shubh Ratri. Love you. Marry me, etc.